Look around you. Your life right now is the scoreboard of every choice you've made. And if you're not proud of it, then you've been lying to yourself too long. Your name means nothing if it's attached to weakness and failure. People don't remember your dreams. They remember your results. So if your story so far is full of excuses, laziness, bad habits, and lost time, then you better understand one thing. You are not a victim. You're the architect of your failure, and you'll either stay broken or rebuild your legacy from scratch. No one's coming to save you. No one's handing you respect. You earn it by becoming undeniable. The world is built by men who got tired of their own excuses and decided to become something real. So stop pretending your past defines you and start acting like your future is waiting for a savage who's done being average. You need to stop acting like your last name is a trophy. It is not. Your last name does not make you powerful. Your history does not make you great. Your legacy is not some fantasy passed down through blood. It is built brick by brick with action, sacrifice, and obsession. You could have grown up with nothing or grown up with everything. It changes nothing because the world does not care about your starting point. It only cares about what you do with it. Some men are born with everything and lose it because they are soft. And some are born with nothing and rise to power because they refuse to stay small. Your legacy is not built by your ancestors. It is built by what you grind for when everyone else is sleeping. The reason most people stay average is because they think legacy is some emotional concept like reputation or popularity. They think if they're nice, if they talk the right way, if they get enough attention, then they've made it. Wrong. Legacy is built in silence with heavy pressure and zero applause. It's built when you choose the hard path over the easy one, when you invest in your future while others waste their time in comfort. It's built when you say no to weakness and yes to growth over and over until it becomes who you are. If your life right now does not reflect power, focus, and direction, then it is not your legacy, it is your excuse. And that has to change now. Your future does not care how hard your past was. Your legacy is not going to be built on what broke you. It is going to be built on how you responded to it. People remember impact, not intentions. You can sit around complaining about how unfair life has been, or you can weaponize your pain and turn it into power. You can let every scar fuel your comeback. You can let every mistake become your lesson. The most dominant men are not the ones who had it easy. They are the ones who turned setbacks into systems and pressure into purpose. Stop looking at your life as something that just happened to you and start seeing it as something you are creating. Every choice is a brick in the structure you are building. So ask yourself, are you building something strong or something weak? Are you stacking discipline or stacking regret? Because when your time is up, people will not talk about your excuses. They will talk about what you built. And if you built nothing, then you will be forgotten. And if you built something real, then your name will echo without needing to be spoken. This is not about fame or followers or trying to please the world. Legacy is not for the world. It is for your bloodline, for your name, for the man you see in the mirror and the men who come after you. It is about leaving behind proof that you did not live soft, that you did not surrender to distraction, that you rose when most people collapsed. If the world ended tomorrow, would your existence have made any real impact? Or were you just another man who talked big and did nothing? Strong legacies come from strong standards, and if you do not hold yourself to one, then you are already losing. Nobody hands you legacy. You take it with work, with willpower, and with relentless execution. You don't get a second chance at reputation once it's gone. But you do get a second chance at building if you stop defending your weaknesses and start becoming someone people cannot ignore. Stop wishing things were better and become the reason they are. If you want respect, build something worth respecting. If you want your name to mean something, stop attaching it to excuses and start attaching it to victory. Your legacy begins when you stop acting like you have time. The clock does not care about your plans. Clock is moving whether you are or not. And if you keep putting off the rebuild, then all you're doing is building failure. Your name is your brand and your life is your message. So what are you really saying with the way you live? Because every hour you waste is another brick missing from your foundation. And when the storm hits and your house collapses, you will not blame the storm. You will blame yourself. So build right now, build strong, build hard, and rebuild your legacy before it's too late. Every day you wake up, you are at war, and the battlefield is made of decisions. Your choices are the weapons, and your discipline is the armor. You either choose power or you choose weakness. There is no neutral. Every small decision adds up. Every time you hit snooze instead of rising, every time you scroll. Instead of grinding every time you stay quiet. Instead of leading, you are voting for weakness. You are training yourself to fail. You are building a legacy made of softness and fear, and that will haunt you. Because deep down, you will know that you had a shot and wasted it for comfort. Weak men are not born. They are built. Through years of soft choices, through years of avoiding pain, through years of blaming others and running from pressure. And those weak choices are like termites. They eat away at your potential silently until one day you wake up and realize your strength is gone. Your edge is gone. Your name means nothing. And all the people you thought would support you have moved on because no one follows a man who cannot lead himself. Strong choices are not convenient. They are uncomfortable. They force you to wake up earlier, work harder, stay sharper, and walk alone when no one understands you. And that is exactly why they matter. Because the man who can choose discomfort consistently becomes bulletproof. He does not collapse. When life gets hard, he becomes harder. He does not beg for validation. He creates results that silence doubt. Your legacy is not in your dreams. It is in your discipline. It is in your ability to make the tough call when it counts. And most of all, it is in your refusal to fold under pressure. You do not need motivation. You need standards. You need to decide that average is no longer acceptable. That skipping the work is no longer allowed. That every decision you make from now on must take you one step closer to becoming someone people cannot ignore. Weak men chase pleasure, strong men chase progress. And that chase creates a legacy that outlives them. When people talk about strong legacies, they talk about actions that were consistent, not just one-time wins, but a life that screamed intensity, focus, and nonstop growth. Start tracking your decisions with brutal honesty. Stop telling yourself you will do better tomorrow and start proving it now. If you are not winning your mornings, if you are not controlling your diet, your time, your energy, then you are not serious about legacy. You are playing with it, and legacy is not a game, it is war. And only those who treat it like life or death will actually leave something behind that matters, because the world does not reward what you meant to do. It rewards what you do daily with power. If you have made weak decisions in the past, good. Now you know how it feels to be average. Now you know what regret tastes like, and you can either let it consume you or use it as fuel. You can take every failure, every lazy day, every wasted hour, and let it light a fire that turns you into someone people never saw coming. People respect the comeback more than the comfort because the comeback requires guts, sacrifice, and a level of work that most will never touch. You want to rebuild your legacy? Then start with your choices. Stop outsourcing responsibility. Stop acting like life is happening to you. It is responding to you. Your life is a mirror reflecting the quality of your decisions. So if the reflection is weak, then the decision-making is soft. And if you want a legacy that lasts, then it is time to make strong decisions with ruthless consistency. No feelings, no excuses, just pressure and progress every single day until your name becomes a standard of strength, not a memory of what could have been. People will listen to your story out of politeness, but they will remember your results out of respect. Your pain, your struggle, your reasons, your background. None of it matters if there is no outcome. If there is no evidence of dominance, no evidence of work, no evidence of transformation, then your story is just noise. Everyone has a reason they could not win, but very few have the results that prove they chose not to lose. And that is the line that separates the remembered from the forgotten. If your legacy is built on what almost happened, then you are already invisible. You think your journey is hard? Good. It should be. You think life is unfair? Excellent. Now rise through it, because no one is coming to apologize to you. No one is handing out credit for effort. People care about what you finish, what you conquer, what you deliver. If you step into the world with excuses, you will be treated like a victim. If you step into the world with results, you will be treated like a king. Results create leverage, they open doors, they command respect, and most of all, they silence every critic who once doubted you, including the voice in your own head. You do not need to tell people how tough your path is. Show them what you built on it. You do not need to ask for support from the world. You need to dominate so completely that the world has no choice but to recognize you. Your legacy is not going to be defined by how many people understood you. It will be defined by what you did anyway, how you performed when no one clapped, how you kept grinding when no one believed in you, and how you kept building when no one offered help. You either have results or you have stories, and one of them dies with you while the other outlives you. You want to rebuild your legacy? Then stop explaining and start executing. Results are magnetic. They attract opportunities, power, and respect. You will never have to explain your worth when your actions speak loud enough to crush doubt. The man who produces results walks different, speaks different, moves different, because he is not negotiating his value with the world. He is enforcing it with what he brings to the table. People may not like him, but they cannot ignore him. And that is the only proof of power that matters. Weak men hide behind words. Strong men build with action. They do not need to convince others. They let their work dominate the conversation. You do not get to the top by talking about how you could have won. You get there by winning and making it so clear that even your enemies have to respect it. Results remove the need to explain yourself. And when your legacy is built on that, you never have to ask for anything, because you become the man who others ask for everything. You need to burn every excuse and replace it with action. Stop saying I could have and start proving I did. Stop telling people you're capable and start becoming undeniable. You think people owe you respect for trying? No, they do not. They owe you nothing until you produce something that forces them to pay attention. Your legacy is not what you hope for. It is what you hammer into reality with relentless consistency. If you are not seeing results, you are not working hard enough. And if you are not working hard enough, then your legacy is a fantasy. This world is brutal. It does not give second chances to those who wait. It rewards the ones who take over, who outwork, who outlast, who outfocus. And if you are not that man yet, then rebuild until you are. Stop waiting for the stars to align and start breaking through every wall that blocks you. Results are not given, they are earned through sacrifice. And if you want your name to mean something, if you want your bloodline to stand taller because of what you did, then produce something that no one can question and no one can match. If the structure of your life is weak, then the blueprint you use to build it is broken. You cannot rebuild by patching holes in a sinking ship. You have to burn the plan that failed and create a new one from the ground up. Too many people try to fix their life by tweaking details instead of erasing the entire design. They try to keep the same habits, the same routines, the same environment, and wonder why nothing changes. You cannot upgrade your results while holding on to the mindset that created your failure. The man who rebuilds his legacy must first destroy the version of himself that settled. You are not going to rise while carrying dead weight, and that includes the patterns you use to justify comfort. If your past made you weak, then your future demands that you become someone unrecognizable to your old self. You do not negotiate with the past. You outgrow it completely. Rebuilding is violent. It is not gentle. It is not about making peace with mediocrity. It is about war against it. It is about burning down every excuse, every wasted hour, every soft decision, and rebuilding with pure focus and pure discipline. You cannot become powerful without destroying who you were when you were powerless. There is no such thing as growth without loss. You will lose people. You will lose distractions. You will lose routines that made you feel safe but kept you small. And that is the price you pay for dominance. The blueprint that got you average cannot take you to elite. It was designed for comfort, not conquest. And if you keep using that plan, you will keep waking up in the same cycle of regret. The fire inside you must be bigger than the fear of change, or you will never become the version of you who earns respect not just from others, but from himself. Stop waiting for permission to start over and start tearing down everything that no longer belongs in the life you are building. The friends who waste your time, the habits that drain your strength, the lies you tell yourself to feel better. It all goes. The old blueprint was designed for survival. The new one must be built for impact, for power, for legacy. If you are not willing to burn the old plan, then do not complain when you keep getting the same weak results. Your life is not going to change because you want it to. It will change because you demand it with action. The process is not supposed to feel good. Rebuilding does not care about your feelings. It cares about your standards. You will have to wake up earlier, train harder, think sharper, and separate yourself from the average world around you. The cost of becoming great is high, and the weak never pay it. They choose to keep the blueprint because it is familiar. Even if it is broken, they keep it because it makes them feel safe, even if it keeps them trapped. If that is you, then stop talking about legacy, because legacy is not for the comfortable. It is for the obsessed. Rebuilding from nothing requires aggression. You must attack your goals with the same energy you use to waste time. You must attack your purpose like your life depends on it, because it does. Every wasted day is a missed opportunity to upgrade your legacy. And if you are not willing to go all in, then stay out. The man who rebuilds does not ask if it will work. He decides it must. He rewrites the code of who he is with intensity that cannot be faked. If you are not ready to sacrifice your old self, then your new self will never be born. There will come a day when you look back and realize the best thing you ever did was destroy the plan that made you average and replaced it with a system built on execution, not emotion. The man who rebuilds and dominates is the man who stopped pretending the past had power and started taking control of the future with clarity, pressure, and purpose. So if your blueprint is built on fear, burn it. If it is built on comfort, burn it. If it is built on survival, burn it and build again. This time, like your name, depends on it, because it does. Motivation is weak because it depends on how you feel, and feelings lie. They change, they fade, they betray you when you need them most. Motivation forces you to work. Even when you feel nothing, the man who builds a legacy understands this. He is not driven by moods. He is controlled by mission. When the alarm hits, he moves. When the plan is hard, he executes when the world sleeps. He grinds not because he is motivated, but because he is built that way. People wait for inspiration, but the man who wins forges it in the fire of daily habits. He does not chase energy. He creates it through structure. Discipline turns chaos into control. Discipline takes ordinary men and transforms them into legends, not because they are lucky, not because they were chosen, but because they outworked everyone who made excuses while they made moves. Motivation is a spark, but discipline is the fuel, and without it, your fire dies before it ever becomes a blaze. Every time you say you will start tomorrow, you've already lost today. Every time you skip 1 rep, 1 hour, 1 page, you prove to yourself that average is still an option. Legacy is not created by doing your best when it's easy. It is created by doing what must be done when you are tired, sore, stressed, or overlooked. Real power is not loud. It is quiet. It shows up every day with zero applause and maximum pressure. And it never breaks. Ruthless discipline means doing it when no one is watching, when no one is clapping, when no one is checking in. Because you do not need permission to be great. You need structure, you need order, and you need a code you follow without fail, no matter what happens outside you. Your legacy is written in the dark hours, the cold mornings, the late nights, when everyone else quits and you do not flinch. That is where greatness is carved. The world respects results, and results are built through consistency, and consistency is owned by discipline. Discipline is how you become the man who does not need second chances because he dominates the first one. Discipline is how you become the one everyone else watches. and tries to copy but never match, because they do not understand how much discomfort you embraced to get there, how many sacrifices you made while they made excuses. There will be moments when you are exhausted, when the path seems endless and your goals feel impossible. That is when most fold. But that is where you separate, because your discipline will carry you through when motivation runs out. Your routine becomes your armor. Your schedule becomes your shield. Your repetition becomes your weapon. And in a world full of soft habits and loud complaints, your quiet execution will be the most powerful message of all. Legacy does not respond to effort. It responds to discipline. The kind of discipline that does not skip steps, does not seek shortcuts, and does not accept weakness. You do not need hype. You need standards. You do not need cheers. You need focus. You do not need good days. You need locked in days. And if you can build your life on that, then your legacy will not just be remembered, it will be studied, because people will want to know how you became impossible to ignore. This world does not care how you feel. It does not care how tired you are, how discouraged you are, how many people doubted you, or how unfair your journey has been. It only cares about what you become. Your legacy is not built when it is easy. It is built when it is brutal, when you are alone, when no one believes in you, and you choose to rise anyway. That is when you separate yourself from the pack. That is when you stop being average and start becoming dangerous. The man who rebuilds his legacy is not normal. He does not think like the rest. He does not wait. He does not complain. He executes with obsession every single day while the world sleeps. He sharpens his edge while others scroll. He studies while others beg for approval. He builds results that demand it. If that is not you yet, then you have work to do, because legacy is not for the man who needs a break. It is for the man who breaks limits. You have one name, one shot, one chance to become something no one saw coming. And that only happens when you take control with total intensity, no backup plan, no safety net, no compromise. Your legacy begins the moment you stop giving energy to weakness and start living like your future is watching. Every move you make, because it is every second you waste now will cost you years later. And if you are not prepared to go all in, then stay out of the conversation. You rebuild your legacy by becoming someone who cannot be ignored, who cannot be replaced, who cannot be stopped by excuses, distractions, or emotions. And that happens when you hold yourself to a level of discipline so brutal that people start questioning if you are even real. Your results should be so sharp that they silence every voice that ever tried to doubt you, including the one in your own head. This is not motivation. This is reality. The man who wins is not the one who talks loud. He is the one who wakes up before the world and moves with precision every hour of the day. You want to rebuild, then stop dreaming and start dominating. Stop hoping and start producing. Build a legacy so strong that your name alone shifts the energy in every room it enters. No one is going to hand you a legacy. No one is going to give you power. You take it through sacrifice, through obsession, through work so intense it forces results when you walk in the room. Your presence should scream discipline. Your actions should leave no doubt. And your results should make it clear you are not here to compete. You are here to conquer. So if you're ready, then stop talking, get up right now, and make the decision to rebuild your legacy, like your life depends on it. Because it does. And if you do it right, you won't need to speak your name. They'll feel it before you even walk in the room.